Katerina Klees, a young noble girl, bangs her head one day and recalls lost memories from her previous life in which she was an otaku who was killed in a traffic accident after staying up all night to play fortune lover. Katarina realizes she is in the world of fortune lover itself after inadvertently entering an engagement with the young Prince Jordo Stewart, reincarnated as the Villainess, who is doomed to either exile or death regardless of the routes the player takes in the original game. As Katarina begins to practice magic and farming as a means of avoiding a doom flag, she acts friendly toward her newly adopted younger brother Keith in order to keep him from becoming lonely. Katarina tries to persuade Keith to teach her golem magic, but she injures herself, causing Keith to feel guilty and attempt to isolate himself in his room. Katarina, on the other hand, goes as far as chopping down his bedroom door with an axe in order to reach him. Unfortunately for Katarina, her mother discovers the broken door and drags her away to scold her while Keith watches with a warm smile. Katarina is invited to a tea party where she meets Mary Hunt, a shy young girl whom she approaches for gardening advice. Katarina unintentionally uses a line from Fortune Lover that Mary's fiancé Jordo's brother Alan was supposed to say to her. As the two become friends, Mary becomes more focused on Katarina as a result of this. Alan pays a visit to the Clay's home the next day and accuses Katarina of seducing Mary, challenging her to a tree climbing contest chosen by Katarina. He always loses though because Katarina's previous otaku incarnation was an excellent tree climber. Katarina suggests a musical competition which she is blown away by when she hears Alan play the piano, to change the tides. Alan is praising his abilities when Jordo makes a remark and runs away as Alan feels inferior to Jordo. Katarina, noticing his talent with the piano, shows him that even Geardo has weaknesses and that Alan should be proud of his own uniqueness and strengths, causing Alan's heart to begin healing. Katarina comes to the aid of the lovely Sophia Escart at a tea party hosted by Jordo and Alan after discovering she has read one of her favorite romance novels. Katarina, overjoyed to have found a companion to share her love of reading, quickly befriends the shy girl. Sophia is delighted when Katarina compliments her appearance, which is frequently insulted by others, and asks to be her friend. When she visits Katarina's house with her brother Nicole, another love interest from Fortune Lover, Katarina then spends the day at Sophia's house where she meets the parents of the siblings and learns about some of Nicole's charms. Katarina notices Nicole's love for his family, which others overlook, and delightfully praises it, causing Nicole to open up to her and smile for the first time. 7 years later, as Katarina approaches the age of 15, she prepares to enter the Magic Academy, and the main story of Fortune Lover begins. Katarina becomes concerned about Maria Campbell, the game's main heroine, who is allegedly already dating the boys. After enrolling at the Magic Academy where Fortune Lover is set, Katarina, as she spends time at the student council and gets to know Maria, steps in to protect her from some bullies. When Maria brings in some homemade sweets, Katarina later realizes that in the original game, she was the one who bullied Maria, and Jordo was the one who came to Maria's rescue, kicking off their romance. However, since Katarina inadvertently stole Jordo's event, the path appears to be taking an unusual and unexpected turn. Katarina saves Maria from being bullied yet again while trying to get closer to her. As a result, she unintentionally steals Keith's major romantic scene. Katarina decides to visit Maria's hometown on her day off with Keith, where she meets Maria's mother. Maria's mother is relieved to find a true friend in Katarina after experiencing severe loneliness as a child, as a result of false rumors about her being a noble's illegitimate child. Katarina's mother, on the other hand, is displeased to see her after discovering she had secretly been running a farm at school and is preparing to scold her, much to Katarina's chagrin. Jordo plans to take Katarina to the lake for a date during summer vacation, but Katarina, misinterpreting the situation, ends up inviting everyone else along as well. Later, Katarina goes shopping with Sophia and Nicole, and she is taken aback by Nicole's unexpected advance. Following that, Katerina joins Mary in attending Alan's piano recital, in which it is implied that Alan has feelings for Katerina that he is unaware of due to Mary's interference. Katerina then tries to finish her summer homework before returning to school, as she has left everything until the last day of vacation. As she falls asleep that night, she recalls a conversation she had with a friend from her previous life. Sophia has a dream about Katerina's real-life friend Atsuko Sasaki, who was deeply saddened by Katerina's untimely death and made a wish that when it was her turn to die, she would like to live her next life as Katerina's friend again. Meanwhile, everyone is tasked with entering a dangerous dungeon for a magical stone as part of their practical exams, with Katerina on a team with Giordo, Keith, and Sophia. During the chaos of one of the dungeon's traps, which Katerina accidentally sets off, Katerina falls down into a hidden passage where she unknowingly finds the magical stone while harvesting mushrooms. Sophia, guided by Nicole's wind magic, comes to Katerina's rescue when she is about to fall off a cliffside, and they are both saved by a mysterious whirlwind. Maria notices a dark presence clinging to Katerina as the rest of the group joins them. Katerina and several other students are sucked inside a magic book while studying in the library. Mary and Maria, who are witnesses to everything, try to figure out how to save everyone and discover that the only way to free them is for one of them to fulfill their desires within the book world. Unfortunately, Mary is unable to allow them to finish their stories because they all involve everyone hitting on Katerina. Realizing that none of the stories had involved Katerina's desire, the two allow a scenario to play out in which Katerina gets to eat as many sweets as she wants, a desire that proves too great for the book to contain, freeing everyone as a result. In the aftermath, Alan, whose story was the only one not read because Mary didn't want him to be aware of his feelings, discovers Katerina playing outside and joins her. They share an intimate moment while sitting atop a tree to watch the sunset, but it is cut short when Mary discovers them and rushes towards them to prevent anything from happening. Katerina and the girls throw a slumber party to celebrate passing their exams, and her maid, Shelley, notices everyone's feelings for Katerina, which Katerina is unaware of. A flashback shows Anne, the daughter of a baron and his maid, being scarred in a fire that killed her mother and being deemed unfit for marriage by her father. When she first joined the Cleese family, she tried to be merely a tool until Katerina's personality changed as a result of her accident, after which she learned to be herself thanks to Katerina's kindness. When Anne's father attempted to marry her off, Katerina stood up to him and persuaded him to call off the marriage and allow Anne to remain by her side. On another occasion, Giordo has high hopes after receiving a fancy invitation from Katerina, only to discover that she has invited everyone to help harvest her crops. Katerina is confronted later by someone who claims she will expose her evil deeds. Katerina is accused of bullying Maria, mimicking the game's judgment event, but Maria and the others prove her innocence. Although Katerina is relieved to have avoided a major disaster, Maria goes missing after investigating a dark aura emanating from the instigators. 3 days later, Giordo discovers that the list of evidence used against Katerina was not written by the instigators and that they have no memory of why they accused her. He suspects that they were duped by dark magic and that Maria's ability to detect it led to her capture. Katerina is unable to sleep that night after having a dream in which all of her friends die. The next morning, she is tired and goes to the infirmary for a rest. Katerina sits on a bench on her way back to class, recalling her first meeting with Maria. Sirius Deke, the president of the student council, interrupts her. Katerina soon realizes that the true culprit is Sirius, who declares his hatred for Katerina and puts her to sleep. After recalling what Atsuko said in her previous life about a hidden character from the game who possessed dark magic, Katerina's mind is trapped in a world resembling her previous life as an otaku while she remains unconscious. Realizing that if Katerina remains in an eternal sleep, she will die. Everyone tries in vain to find ways to wake her up. As Giordo and the others lament their feelings for Katerina, Sophia, revealed to be Atsuko's reincarnation, hears her voice and rushes to Katerina's side so Atsuko can reach her inside the dream world and guide her back to the world she belongs to. Katerina learns where Maria is and joins the others in rescuing her and confronting Sirius. Based on Atsuko's parting words, Sirius, whose real name is revealed to be Raphael Walt, explains how Martian Deke had a mage kill his mother in order to acquire dark magic, in order to perform a ritual in which the real Sirius's mind and memories were transferred into Raphael's body. She then murdered the mage in order to silence him. Raphael swore vengeance as he gained dark magic alongside Sirius's memories while still retaining his own. Raphael is reminded of his mother's kindness thanks to Katerina's assistance, and he eventually manages to drive out the mage who possessed him. After his death, Raphael then leaves the school to atone for his transgressions, while Martian Deke is brought to justice. Katerina is greeted with what she believes to be a friendship ending at the second-year graduation party, the setting of the game's final event, in which Maria is supposed to confess to one of the romance interests while remaining unaware that she is actually the focus of a reverse harem ending, with Raphael joining the Department of Magic and becoming yet another of Katerina's admirers. Katerina looks forward to a life beyond